Monster Island.
Why do I want to visit Japan? I've had a fascination with Japanese pop culture for quite some time, and it has had a huge influence on my development as an artist. My plan is to visit Japan for approximately 2 weeks, and I would like to perform while I am there. The fall of 2023 seems like a good time frame, maybe around September, which is also my birthday, so it will be like a birthday present to myself. Here's a little background on my Japan fascination. I watched Godzilla movies when I was growing up, and then Battle of the Planets and Star Blazers came on TV in 1979, but I didn't keep watching later shows in the 80s like Robotech, and I certainly was too old for Power Rangers. The biggest influence was VHS tapes. I had seen several anime films on pirate VHS starting in 1990, and it was still an obscure genre. I saw Akira with no English subtitles and then The Overfiend. The tentacle scenes turned me off to anime for a while. Then I discovered two things in the mid-90s. First was a cable access show called The Hypnotic Eye. It was this bizarre show hosted by a weird eye puppet, and it featured many segments from Japan. I was exposed to all kinds of Japanese movies, TV, and music thanks to Mr. I. There was a segment on the show about a shop in Dallas called Forbidden Books. They rented out a variety of obscure VHS tapes from all over the world, and there was a lot of Japanese content. I bought 2 good VCRs and started dubbing everything I rented from Forbidden, and my VHS collection started growing. The Hypnotic Eye showed several clips from a tape called Where the Action Is, so I rented it. This compilation of Japanese garage rock bands gave me a glimpse into a scene that I related to. I couldn't see myself playing in front of thousands of people in Japan, but I certainly could envision myself playing in front of a bunch of sweaty kids in a basement or DIY venue. But that was the 90s, and Japan was literally and figuratively on the other side of the world. The internet was not what it is now, and I couldn't find reliable information about what it was like over in Japan. Without any information or connections, the thought of going to Japan was just too intimidating. I never did follow through on my wish to go to Japan until the idea got rekindled a few years ago on YouTube. Most specifically, there is a series called Abroad in Japan that talks about the country from a Westerner's perspective, but I watched other videos as well. In particular, 15 Tips for First-Time Travelers to Japan was very helpful because it gave specific information about the nuts and bolts of the visit. These videos demystified the prospect of visiting Japan and gave me the impetus to make my long-time wish a reality. Here's the nuts and bolts. Most estimates say that a reasonable vacation for 2 weeks in Japan should cost about $4,000 to $5,000, and a good chunk of that is just the plane ticket. For example, the price of a ticket from here in Dallas, Texas to Japan is around $1,500. My tastes are less expensive than most people, so I will try to keep my costs lower. There are many ways to save money when visiting Japan, but one of the most important ones is the capsule hotel. I will try to find a good deal on a small hotel, but if I can't find any deals, there are a ton of capsule hotels for around $25 to $30 a night, making it between $350 to $420 for a 2-week stay. You will need a Japanese SIM card for your phone, which is about $50 for 2 weeks. You can use it as a hotspot for your computer, although just about everywhere, including your hotel, will have Wi-Fi. The JR Rail Pass gives you unlimited rides on trains for 2 weeks for about $350 to $450. That does not include the bullet train, but I might take a trip on one just for the experience. Food, drinks, and nightlife, I estimate anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500. That makes the trip total about $3,250 on the low side and $4,000 on the high side. I don't see myself buying a lot of souvenirs, so my money will mostly be spent on eating, going out, drinking, and trying to make connections to the Japanese music scene. I will be giving updates on more facts and figures as they become available. What I want to do while I am there. I will do a lot of the touristy things that people do when they are in Japan, but I also want to investigate the Japanese music scene and try to make contacts while I'm there. Another thing that I'd like to do is take my act to the street and busk at a train station. There are conflicting reports about needing a license to busk, and I am trying to gather more information, which I will share with you when it presents itself. Since I've been watching these videos about Japan, I've started to entertain the thought of perhaps moving there someday. There are lots of videos addressing the realities of living in Japan as a foreigner, but most of the negative points don't seem so negative, to me at least, and they seem quite manageable. I plan on doing a video called Reasons Why I Think I Might Be Able to Live in Japan sometime soon, and I will outline those issues and how I plan to deal with them. I intend on documenting as much of this working vacation as possible and posting it to my Patreon account. As a Patreon supporter, you're going to get early access and even exclusive video content on the progress towards Japan and posts while I'm actually there. I would love for my Patreon supporters to get involved and take this trip with me. If you have any suggestions or questions, please feel free to contact me. Thanks to all of my current Patreon subscribers, and I hope this video inspires new people to become supporters. See you next time.